वर्णानामृतसङ्गानां रसानां चन्द्रसामपि मङ्गलानां च करीतारो वन्दे वाणी विनायको भवानी शङ्करो वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणो याभ्यां विना नापश्यन्ते सिद्धस्वान्तस्तमीश्वर। रामायण सुमिरन। जो सुमिरत सिद्ध होय, गणनायक करिवर वदन करहुवनो ग्रह सोय, बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सधना। मोक होय बाचार, गोचरय गिरिवर गहना। जासु कृपा सोदया द्रबहु सल कलिमल गहना। नील सरो रहुषार, तरुण यरुण पारिजनयन। करहु सुमम उरगार, सदा चिर सागर शयन। कुंदहिंदो समदे उमारमन करुणायन। जाहि दीन पठने करहु कृपा मर्दन मयन। बंदोहु गुरु परकन, कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि। महामोह तम पूर, जासु बचन रवि करनी कर। बंदोहु पावन कुमार, बलवल पावत ज्ञान। जासु हृदय आकार, बसहु राम सरिता पहरा। श्री गुरु चरण सरोजी रजा जमन मुकुर सुरा बदलो रघुवर विमल यशा जोदायक फलचा बोधहीन तनु जानिके सुमीरो पवन कुमार बल बुध विद्या देहु मुई हरहु कलेश विकार तुलसी कृत्य रमायणा कथा करहु अनुसार आसन लीजे प्रेम हिता आवो पवन कुमार सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय अयोध्या राम लला की जय वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय पूरे सा जगन्नाथ की जय बोलो बे सब संतन की जय सियापति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय. The night before we go into the Garud Mahapuran, we go a little bit into the Ramcharitramanas, the Holy Ramayana. Initially I had planned that tonight we will do question and answers. And you will ask the question and Chiki will answer. But then I thought that might be very difficult for Chiki on this moment. And she might not be able to think fast enough to answer the questions. And so I decided to read from the Ramayana this evening. Goswami Tulsidas Ji takes us into Lanka Kand. Lanka. When you hear of Lanka, what comes to mind? When you hear of your father, what is the first thing that comes to mind? When you hear of your mother, what is the first thing that comes to mind? When you hear of your brother, what is the first thing that comes to mind? When you hear of Lanka Kand, what comes to mind? When you think of your Pitras, grandmother and grandfather and great-grandmother, what comes to mind? What should come to mind? In Lanka Kand of the Ramcharitramanas, Goswami Tulsidas Ji says the bridge has already been built. That bridge can be compared to our life and our existence, for we already exist. Isn't it? We already exist. And so this body is like our bridge that will cross us from here to Mukti, salvation. He writes in another beautiful chopai, Bari bhagya manush tanu pava Sud dudlab sab granth lagawa Bari bhagya manush tanu pava Sud dudlab sab granth lagawa. The human existence is the greatest existence that there is. Even the gods in the heavens pray to have a human existence. And why? Because by having this human existence, the next chaupai tells us, Sadhan Ram Moksha Kar Dwara Pai na Jehi Padalok Savara Mangal Bhavanaya Mangal Hari Draba Usudasa Rata Ajira Bihari Sadhana Dhamma Moksha Karadwara. By having the human existence, you can pave a way for mukti, salvation. Praying and paving a way that your soul will never be reborn in the cycle of birth and death, birth and death, birth, suffering and death. That's what it is. Birth, suffering and death. Suffering doesn't only mean physical, suffering mental, suffering health-wise, and so suffering. This evening, the bridge has already been built. And so as they have made their way, they're about to enter into this place called Lanka. But Sri Ram, being the good divine soul that he is, he does not want to enter into the abode of Ravan without sending a warning or a message. We were trained as children that when you are entering into anybody's room, the first thing you must do is, when the door is locked for a purpose. Be patient. We were taught that you don't slam doors. Well, I was taught that. I don't know about you. Shri Ram has chosen. Who has he chosen? He has chosen a being whose name is Angad. Angad has been chosen to go into Lanka to give a warning to Ravan that the army of Ram is about to enter. But as Angad enters, Angad meets not with Lankini. Hanuman met with Lankini. Angad now meets with another security guard who is attempting to prevent him from going to perform the duty that Sri Ram has instructed him to perform. And Angad, having good training from Hanumanji, Angad knows how to put aside that obstacle and to forge forward. Angad has made his way successfully into the courtyard of Ravan. Uninvited. Angad, uninvited, now stands in the courtyard of Ravan. What will he do? What statement will Angad make while standing in that courtyard? Ravan, who is already confused, how did he get here in the first place? How did we get here in the first place? Have you ever asked yourself? What criteria did Bhagwan God use to choose to place me where I am? Was I a good being in my past life? Was I a good being in my last existence? Was I really this bad? To endure this amount of suffering? And so Angad enters. And as Angad enters, listen to what it says. So sab priya sab sahuna more samjo pad prasanna aptore jan priya tori re chaturai ehi vidhi karho mori prabhu rai Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. I can't hear you. Sing with me, everybody. Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Jaya courtyard of Ravan. And Angad says, I came here with a purpose. I came here for a reason. I came here to make a statement. When we die and when we leave, what kind of statement would we have made along the journey of our life? Would you have made a good statement or a bad statement? The only day you're sure that somebody will say something good about you is the day you're dead. You know that? While you're alive, nobody has anything good to say to you or about you. The minute you're dead, they're doing your arti and bowing and squeezing your foot and putting mala. Everybody want to buy the clothes and everybody want to choose the box and everybody want to pay for the funeral. And while you're living, you have no food. You have no happiness. You have no comfort. You have no luxury. You have nothing. You don't even have a peace of mind. Angad is about to make a statement. And so Angad standing there, Angad says, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Not just Sri Ram. The entire army is coming. Ravan hearing this, Ravan looking at Angad. Ravan is about to address Angad. What would he say? Idamah pratna jagargu rai Ponch hama sabachit kaha honi Kahu bihi karahu pai Lekar par Nai Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Ravan, hearing the words of Angad, Ravan says immediately somebody move him. Throw him out of Lanka. Get rid of him. Do what you must, but get rid of him. Do you know while we're alive, people try to get rid of us? Do you know my children wish that they could get rid of their parents? And that's a fact that is proven. That's where in my mind I know that I have to create a place for parents, not because their children put them out, but because living in their own homes, they don't have a peace of mind. They're uncomfortable in their own space. And that's where my dream of opening the home for the aged came into play. Because there are many people, though they would have worked and toiled and built and saved, they're unhappy. They can't live peacefully in their own homes. Angad. Ravan giving the instruction to his disciples. They all go one by one trying to move Angad. But Angad has planted his foot on the ground. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Jai Shri Ram. Not only Hanumanji planted his foot, but Angad, who also is a Bhakta of Bhagwan Ram, he plants his foot. And so as Angad plants his foot on the ground, the servants going one at a time, they all unable to move the foot of Angad. And so then collectively all of them they join. And recognizing that they will not be able to move the foot of Angad, what will happen? A person with ego is about to now go. Who will go? Listen, it tells us. Bahu pujan tumko kahu kai Pratama chatur mojan amai Kaju harasha hit kaha बहुत बुझन कहतहु कहु पाई प्रथम Angad. As all the disciples, they are unable to move Angad. You know what happens? Ravan comes off his throne. And Ravan, like any boss, giving an instruction to his worker and seeing the worker unable to follow the instruction, Ravan flies into a fit of anger. And flying into this fit of anger, Ravan goes, "You are fools. You can't follow a little instruction and move a little man. Then you are not worthy of living in Lanka too. Maybe you should leave too." The words of Ravan. Ravan goes himself, and as Ravan is about to hold on to the feet of Angad, to move Angad, Angad says in Trinidad language, "Wait, wait, wait. You wait. You wait." What is he about to say? Listen to the words of Angad. Rama bhaju, Rama bhaju, Rama bhaju bai. 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 निसिचर एक पावा तुरतर निसिचर एक पावा सनचित रावण जीवन दारा सुनत बिसल बोल बसही न पाई अनुबोल करहु कर की कहानी रमा भजो रमा भजो रमा भजो माई रमा भजो रमा भजो रमा भजो माई रमा भजो रमा भजो रमा भजो माई.
Welcome to the Chatak's Kitchen, where it's tastier and spicier. For even more taste, cook with Chatak's Amchar Masala, saffron, ground jeera and black pepper. Mix in Chatak's mild, spicy or Madras curry. Get a burst of excitement with a mango amchar, pomsadeh and mango kuchila, lime and pepper chunks, West Indian hot sauce and lime pepper sauce. Plus, Chatak's tamarind and mango chutneys are perfect with palori and sahina. So make your kitchen a Chatak kitchen. Chatak's fruit products, bringing good taste to life.
Have you been vaccinated? Are you or a loved one experiencing side effects? Have a loved one suddenly died and you suspect it's from being vaccinated? Report this on covars.com, Trinbago's own reporting system online to report any mild to severe side effects and even deaths from getting the COVID vaccine. Make your report, whether current or retroactive one, today on covars.com.
The Little Store offers you a great shopping experience in cool comfort with knowledgeable, helpful staff. Our large aisles and well-organized shelves are filled with quality puja materials, incense sticks, tasty mithai and homemade yogurt. Come to us for all your Indian groceries and spices, SAS paper sahari leaves, household items, sewing supplies, religious books and lots more. You can depend on the Little Store, your store. It's an honor to serve you.
He's saying to Ravan, "Hold up, don't touch my foot. Because anybody touching my feet, it means that I have to bless them. And the kind of sin you have, when you fall to my foot and I have to bless you, then it means that I will be sinful too. Please do not touch my foot." The persons whose feet you have to touch, Ravan, is Ram, not mine. And willing or not, you will have to touch. You will have to bow and you will have to surrender, willing or not, to Ram. But don't touch my foot. Please don't touch me. There are some sages and saints and swamis. They will never allow anybody to touch them. They will never eat or drink anything that is offered to them. They will never accept anything that you're giving to them because they don't want your karma. You keep your karma. I am paying the debt for my own karma. You keep your own. Ravan, hearing this, Ravan flies into a fit of rage because Ravan, his ego is so big that Ravan just thinking that he has to bow to Ram. That very thought makes him want to chew and swallow anger. Nobody likes to hear the truth. The truth always offends. Do you know? I don't have too much friends, you know. I don't have too much friends. Because you know why? I'm just like Uncle Budeo. I tell you as is. You vex? That's you. But I'm telling you. I have to tell you, I'm not going to pretend. Last night we listened to the Garud Puran. And the Garud Puran spoke about death, Yama, what he looks like. The Garud Puran spoke about who can perform the rituals. The Garud Puran spoke about what preparations is made by the Yajman, the person who is performing the ritual. The Garud Puran spoke about why we fast, the particular fast. The Garud Puran spoke about the cremation or the burial. It spoke about the stops that we make, and all of those things were discussed last night. The body is now cremated. What happens? What happens after the body is cremated? The body is cremated, and what happens from that point onwards? The morning after the cremation, the sons, they go to the cremation site. And going there, they find bones of the departed. Placing it in the gut, in the pot, they fill this pot with milk, tulsi leaves and black till. And this is taken and offered into the water. The spot upon which the cremation happens must be cooled with water and with milk. And after this offering is made into the ocean and all the ashes they are offered, then what happens? Going back to the home, the son offers the tarpan. And offering the tarpan, he offers a pinda. But before he offers that tarpan and before he offers that pinda, he must place by that kush grass. The Garud Puran says a dat one. Have you ever heard about a dat one? 2021 is probably dat two. Now it's toothbrush. Long ago it was a dat one. It was made of the soap vine. Have you ever heard of this soap vine before? It is specified that it must be made from the soap vine because that vine is soapy. Did you know that there is a soap vine? And so a cup of water, the dat one is offered, the tarpan is offered, the pinda is offered, deepadan, a diya is lit, and agarbatti, praying on behalf of the soul. For the soul is now crying, "Me bhook aur pyasa pirit." Those are the exact words of the Garud Puran. "Me bhook aur pyasa pirit." I am hungry, I am thirsty. Give me something to eat and give me something to drink. And now this pinda is acting as bhog. It is acting as food. The water, the tarpan that you're offering is now acting as something to drink. And so this offering happens every morning. It should be done ideally at Pratkal, when the sun is about to rise, or just before. But on the evening right after the cremation, there is a ceremony that is called Dur Mohi. And so this ceremony is performed. It is supposed to be done ideally in the evening time. Some people do it in the morning. Some people do it in the evening. Where khichdi is made, khichdi with urdi and rice. Have you ever tasted urdi and rice? With no salt. It must be sweet. I want to tell you, it tastes like poison. This must be offered by the kush grass first, and then the yajman and the 5 boys, they must eat of this khichdi. and then go back. The Garud Puran says, whatever actions are performed by the Yajman affects totally the soul and the peacefulness of the soul. The Yajman should not sleep on the same bed of his wife. He should sleep on the floor. He should not eat of the chunkade food, and no chunky should happen in the home. Do you know why? The soul is in a confused state, burning and wondering. And when you chunky the pot, it will be so uncomfortable for the soul that it will aggravate the soul even further. Somebody ever chunky a pot and you have to run? And that's the reason why you do not chunky when somebody dies in the home. And it is logical, very logical. Preparations are made for the Daskatra. Daskatra means the 10th day. Daskatra. The 10th day ceremony, who performs the ritual? It must be a person who comes from the Brahman lineage. He is called the Mahapatra. Mahapatra means that he is creating a pathway now for the soul to travel, to go on its journey. Where can the ceremony be performed? The Garud Puran says. Not me, it is not my opinion. The most appropriate place to perform the Daskatra is by any waterway, be it the ocean, be it the river, be it a pond, be it the well, be it by a hydrant. Scripture talks about a pipe with flowing water. I am saying a hydrant, just to give a general idea. Long ago, they were having the wedding and there was no standpipe. They will carry a jug of water, you all know that? Did you ever see that before? When they were going for the matikur, they'll carry a jug of water. You have to be old like me. Then you'll know that. Because long ago, they went close to the standpipe. Tonight, the Garud Puran says that there is no river, there is no ocean, there is no well, there is no pond. What happens? You can perform the ceremony under any holy tree. There is no holy tree to perform this ceremony. Then you perform the ritual in the yard of a temple. There is no temple to perform the ritual. Then you perform it outside in the open somewhere, outside. The Mahapatra, that lighting diya is now taken out of the home for the first time, and it is taken to that place where this ceremony will happen. The Mahapatra creates a ghat, a pot, great ghat, and so inviting the soul to sit in there, the Mahapat, he is now about to prepare himself to perform the ritual. 11 pindas are offered on the 10th day. That's easy to remember. 11 pindas they are offered on the 10th day. One pinda is called a Bikra pinda. It is offered to wandering souls and spirits and members of the family that nobody performed the rituals for. And then all the other pindas they are offered, creating a subtle body now for the soul to begin its journey. But the pindas that are offered on the 10th day must be cooked over fire. And it must be cooked in an earthen pot. And why? It is cooked in an earthen pot because the body has the element of the earth. It is cooked over the fire because the body has the element of fire. Water is poured in there and the body has the element of water. And using the pratishtaha, the breath, he is infusing life into it. And so indirectly, he is now instilling the 5 elements into this subtle body. By chanting the appropriate mantras, the Mahapat now creates a subtle body for the soul. The most appropriate day to give the pillow and the sponge and the umbrella and the bucket and the cup and the plate and the broom and is on that day. For the soul is now about to begin its journey. So you're now equipping the soul with all that is necessary to make its journey. The Garud Puran says the last person to leave that place where the ritual is performed should be the Mahapat. He should be the last person to leave. The Mahapad, before he leaves, he cracks the pot. And it's believed that he frees the soul. So the soul begins its journey. The Garud Puran says that the Garud Puran says, not me. The Garud Puran says, the book say, not me, the book says that the Mahapad should never be allowed to come to your home. Long ago it was a tradition that if the Mahapad was about to come to your home, you know what you'll do? Chase him away. Because it is believed that his soul might follow him and come right back to create chaos and trouble. And that is the reason why. I never said to stone down anybody. Did you hear me say that? I never said to stone down anybody. He's a Brahmana. He's a holy man. He comes from the holy caste. He wears a Janevu. He lives the life of a holy man. And you cannot disrespect him because it is a Mahapap, a great sin to disrespect the Brahmana. Preparations are now made. And when the Yajman is about to leave that place, the Mahapad gives water. And that water is sprinkled through the entire home, inside, outside, and everywhere. And it is now the first cleansing of the home. Only after that point, preparations can now be made for the Bhandara. People clean their home and change the curtain and mop and scrub and clean because now they're going to perform worship to Lord Krishna. And Bhagwan Krishna is about to come to accept the worship. So some kind of cleaning and preparation is done. Some schools of thought say that you don't sweep the house during that time when you are preparing to do the 10 days. You heap up all the rubbish in a corner and you keep it until the 10 days is done. Because you don't want anything to leave the house, not even the garbage. Because the home is considered to be sutak, unclean. Ideally, the Garud Puran says, and this is what the book says. Ideally, the book says no refreshment should be served after the funeral. That is not what I said. That is what the book said. Ideally, no refreshment should be served. That's not my opinion. That's what the book says. It is our tradition that when we go, we have corn soup and sahina and palori and sweet bread and a little cheese paste. And what again? Well, Ashish is saying snow cone and Chiki is saying pelao. So I was never lucky to get those things, you know. But then again, the Pandit is prohibited from eating in that home and drinking in that home. The only time he can eat, drink or partake of anything in that home is after the Shrad, the Bhandara has been done. The Garud Puran says preparations are made to perform the Bhandara. I'm going to tell in a nutshell what the Bhandara is. Bhandara. Have you ever seen a Bhandara pot before? Ever see a Bhandara pot before, Anand? No? You're the food king, you know. You're supposed to know. Bhandara means feast. The Bhandara pot is a humongous pot. On that day when you cook the food, now, another very contradicting thing happens. The Garud Puran specifies what can and should be prepared and what should not be prepared when you're performing the Shrad. I'm not going to tell you. The Garud Puran tells of who is permitted to prepare the meals and who is not permitted to perform the meals. I am not going to tell. The Garud Puran tells about what time the meal should be prepared and how it should be prepared. I am not going to tell. On the day of the 10th day, the meal after 6 o'clock in the evening should be disposed of. It is not thrown in the garbage, but that food is fed to the fishes. That is what is done with the food. Why? Because that food would have been prepared early in the morning And by 6 o'clock in the evening, it has lost all its life. There is no good energy that will come out of that food. Because food is not supposed to be kept out of the fridge for that prolonged period of... Actually, we're not supposed to eat food from the fridge. We're supposed to eat fresh food. Food that comes straight out of the pot. And that is scriptural. This sattvic food kept for a prolonged period of time becomes tamasic. It has lost all its good energy. And now instead of nourishing the body, it becomes like poison to the body. The Garud Puran tells us, Bandara means feast. The more food you could give on that day of the Shraddha, the better it is for the soul. So give. That's not a day to put the shatta in the freezer for next month. It is not a day to hide some chana in case somebody come later. It is not a day to hide away some parsad for tomorrow. You are supposed to make, and everything you make, you are supposed to give in dan. This is what makes the soul happy. I want to tell you even further. While you're alive and you have the opportunity, you give food in dan with your own hand. You give food in dan with your own hand while you're alive. Don't wait until you're dead for nobody to give food in your bandara. When the opportunity arises, you give food. Do you know that some of the grahas, in order to nullify and to get rid of the grahas, you must feed the pandit? Do you know that? Did you all know that? Don't try to feed me, huh? And it specifies what you should feed them. You're supposed to nullify the grahas of Rahu and Ketu, and you're supposed to make urdi bara and soak it in dahi and offer it at the root of the peepar tree, and then take it and offer it to the pandit. You leave whatever you have offered by the peepar tree, and then you feed the pandit, and that's the way you get rid of your graha. That's where our foreparents came up with a brilliant idea of every puja they were having, they will make something called Sara Bara. Have you ever heard about that? Sara Bara is urdi bara soaked in dahi. But it is not just soaked, it is chunkade. You ever hear about chunkade before? It is chunkade. The dahi is chunkade with spices and mustard seed, and it becomes a delicacy. Have you ever eaten Sara Bara? Well, tomorrow evening, Kusum will make that for us. Sara Bara. Yeah, I'm just delegating her. She knows how to make it. And in every bandara, every shad, there are two things you must have. Sweet corn kuku is the parsad of Bhagwan Krishna. And Sara Bara must be in the food that you're offering. Mohan hamare madhuban mein tu maya na karo. Bhagwan Krishna was called Makan Chor, you know. He stole the dahi and the ghee, and those are the things that must be given and shared in the name of the person who has died. Tonight, where is the wife in all of this? What is her role, responsibility, and function while her husband is performing these rituals? On the day of the wedding, the second vow that the wife agrees to from the husband, actually the second vow that she asks of the husband, if ever you are to make offerings in the name of your pitras, I, as your wife, want to be allowed to sit and to join with you. The Garud Puran specifies that if the husband is making the offerings, and depending on the kind of worship that they're doing, the wife whose rightful place is on the left-hand side, she should not sit on the left-hand side. Where she should sit, I'm not going to even tell you that. Because, you know, I don't want to be in trouble. And you know, we get in trouble for telling the truth all the time. I'm just giving you an idea. So you'll have an idea. So there are food prohibited from being cooked and prepared. It specifies who can and cannot prepare the meals. It specifies that the food should be given with no reproach. No reproach. It must just be given. The wife she sits with her husband to perform Pitra worship. She's supposed to sit with her husband to perform Pitra worship. The Garud Puran says, after we perform this Bhandara, this Shrad, we perform a ceremony called the 6th month. There are many people who say it's optional, you could do it, you can't do it if you want. The Garud Puran says, and it specifies, that the 6th month Shrad is very important. And why? At 5.5 to 6 months, the soul reaches to the Vaitarni, this river. And if per se you did not give the cow while you were alive, because the cow is a good swimmer and it will take you across the Vaitarni, and that's why we do the Godan, then members of the family, that is the most appropriate time to give the cow in your honor. The 1 year Shrad marks the end of the journey, but during the 11 to 11.5 months, every day, on the new moon day, a pinda and tarpan should be offered in the name of the person who has died. And it specifies and it tells what a soul's journey is like on its way. One part is pitch dark, so when somebody dies, we give the lamp. One part, it appears as though there are dry leaves on the ground, and when the soul attempts to cross, having this subtle body now, they realize it is razor sharp, so we must give the slipper. In one part is as though there are 10 S-U-N-S suns shining at one time. Did you feel the heat of the sun yesterday and today? Imagine 10 of that. That's the Garud Puran says that we give the parasol. Have you ever heard about a parasol? Or an umbrella? We give that. The Garud Puran says in one part food and drink is being served. So we give the cup and the plate, the thari and the lota. Long ago the Pandit ate right by the Bedi, and you know what you fed him in? You know what you fed the Pandit in? What? You know why we stopped that tradition? Because the thariya kind of need a little scrub. You might get tetanus if you eat in it. Because long ago the old people took pride in the way they prepared their things for puja. A month in advance, the table was out and the thariya and lota on that table, and they're taking ashes from the chulha and the coconut husk and they shine in the thariya, you know. When you watch yourself in it, you could see your face in it, you know. Do you know? Well, you have to be old like me. Then you'll know. The Garud Puran says that all of these gifts, they are given in the name of the person who has died, praying for the atonement of their sins and praying for the transition to be a smooth, peaceful one.
Have you been vaccinated? Are you or a loved one experiencing side effects? Have a loved one suddenly died and you suspect it's from being vaccinated? Report this on covars.com, Trinbago's own reporting system online, to report any mild to severe side effects and even deaths from getting the COVID vaccine. Make your report, whether current or retroactive one, today on covars.com.
The Little Store offers you a great shopping experience in cool comfort with knowledgeable, helpful staff. Our large aisles and well-organized shelves are filled with quality puja materials, incense sticks, tasty mithai and homemade yogurts. Come to us for all your Indian groceries and spices, SAS paper sahari leaves, household items, sewing supplies, religious books and lots more. You can depend on the Little Store, your store. It's an honor to serve you. Welcome to the Chatak's Kitchen, where it's tastier and spicier. For even more taste, cook with Chatak's Amchar Masala, saffron, ground jeera and black pepper. Mix in Chatak's mild, spicy or Madras curry. Get a burst of excitement with a mango amchar, homsade and mango kuchila, lime and pepper chunks, West Indian hot sauce and lime pepper sauce. Plus, Chatak's tamarind and mango chutneys are perfect with kalori and sahina. So make your kitchen a Chatak kitchen. Chatak's fruit products, bringing good taste to life.
Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
What are some of the gifts that we can give that will help to nullify suffering for our soul when we die? And an easy transition. Till. Black till, white till, and brown till. Have you ever heard about that? White till, black till, and brown till. The black till is symbolic of the sweat of the body of Bhagavan Vishnu. The kush grass is symbolic of the hairs of the body of Lord Vishnu. When we perform worship and we offer tarpan, the kush grass is knotted. And the reason why it is knotted is because living in the kush grass at the root is Brahma, in the middle is Vishnu, and at the tip is Lord Shiva. All of the offerings are being made to Lord Vishnu. And so it is knotted so that the center will reflect the top, and so you pour the oblations on the grass. You cannot knot the soul of the person who has died. You can't tie down no soul and no body. And so when you see the knotted grass, don't get frightened. You're not tying down the dead man's soul. And it's none of those things. It is symbolic of. The Garud Puran says that between the right hand thumb and index finger, it is called Pitra Tirtha. And so when you make offerings in the name of the Pitras, you hold your hand in this way, so that the offering that falls through your thumb and your index finger goes to the Pitras. Dev Tirtha, through the tip of the fingers. So when you offer for the Devatas, you offer through the tip of the fingers. And so the Garud Puran talks about the different angles and why we use those angles. Because the offerings go to the different energies or entities. What are the 5 main sins? Can you remember? The Garud Puran talks about the 5 main sins. The first greatest sin, the 5 Mahapap, the greatest sin, Go Hatya. Killing and disrespect of the cow. Hatya means to cause hurt or pain or anguish or death. Go Hatya. Killing of the cows. Mahapap, great sin. Brahman Hatya. The disrespect of the Pandits. That's why the old people used to say, "Do bad talk your godfather." Don't say a single bad thing about the Pandit. Tonight I want to tell you, secure blessing for your soul. You don't try to judge the Pandit. Let him pay for his own karma. You don't say a single thing about him. It is a Mahapap, a great sin. Nari Hatya. The hitting, the abusing, the destruction of women. Mahapap. Bal Hatya. The disrespect and the abuse and destruction of children. Mahapap, a great sin. Manush Hatya. What is Manush Hatya? Well, I'm not even sure if I should tell you, because Auntie Kusum not giving me a chance to tell you. She's saying it. Manush Hatya refers to killing or causing pain to oneself. Mahapap. The Garud Puran gives an elaborate explanation as to what happens to the soul of a person who destroys himself, who causes death upon himself. The Garud Puran says that soul bharmes and wanders constantly until the appointed time that was allocated by Bhagwan for death to happen comes. Whether what rituals and gifts are given in the name of that soul, none of those gifts and rituals are of any benefit to that soul. The Garud Puran says that that soul is hanged upside down on the silk cotton tree. And the Yamduts, the servant of Yamraj, beat their soul using hot iron rods, and they torment their soul. That's where the old people used to say the silk cotton tree have zombie. You ever hear that before? That's why they said that. That's the reason why. Not just hang, but hanged upside it down. Can you think about what that experience is? So you think you're seeing trouble while you're alive. Imagine what will happen to you when you do it. What will happen to your soul? The Garud Puran says that if perchance that soul is freed at any time, in the night time that soul becomes very frightened. And the next tree that soul seeks comfort in is the peepal tree. In the day, the devatas reside in the peepal tree. And in the night time, Bhoot, Pret, wandering souls and spirits inhabit the peepal tree. The old people used to say, not me, the old people, never keep the peepal tree close to the house, you know. Have you ever heard that before? The peepal tree is so destructive. The Garud Puran talks about the peepal tree, and do you know what it says? The Garud Puran says that when the root of the peepal tree touches the foundation of the home, the elder in the home dies. The eldest being in the home dies when the peepal tree, the root, touches the foundation of the home. It is not my opinion. I'm telling you what the book says. We're reading Garud Puran. I'm telling you what the Garud Puran says. What is my opinion? I'll tell you it's my opinion. But this is what the book says. Talking about the 5 greatest sins, what are now the 7 greatest gifts that you can give while you're alive? That will help your soul to attain happiness and peace on its journey. Do you have any idea? I'll tell you tomorrow evening. I'll tell you tomorrow evening. Dan Paul is going to lead us in this chant. We all sing together. Let us sing and let us clap and let us glorify Bhagwan Krishna. Radhe Govinda Gopala, Baju Govinda Radhe Gopala. Radhe Govinda Gopala, Radhe Govinda Gopala. Radhe Govinda Gopala, Baju Govinda Radhe Gopala. Radhe Govinda Gopala, Radhe Govinda Gopala. Krishna Madhusundana, Madhusundana Krishna. Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna. Krishna Madhusundana, Madhusundana Krishna. Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna. Govinda Govinda Gopala, Bolo Govinda Govinda Gopala. Govinda Govinda Gopala, Bolo Govinda Govinda Gopala. Radhe Govinda Gopala, Radhe Govinda Gopala. Radhe Govinda Gopala, Govinda Gopala. Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna. Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna. Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna. Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna. Govinda Govinda Gopala. Bolo Govinda Govinda Gopala. Govinda Govinda Gopala. Bolo Govinda Govinda Gopala. Radhe Govinda Gopala. Radhe Govinda Gopala. Radhe Govinda Gopala. Radhe Govinda Gopala. Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna. Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna. Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna. Krishna Madhusudana, Madhusudana Krishna. Govinda Govinda Gopala. Bolo Govinda Govinda Gopala. Bolo Govinda Govinda Gopala. Bolo Govinda. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody, let's sing. Radhe Govinda Gopala. 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 I want to tell you, scriptures declare that one of the ways of preparing yourself for mukti is by listening and joining in the kirtan, by clapping and singing. Listening, singing, being a part of. I want to tell you a secret. Anytime you're falling asleep and you want to get up, clap your hands. Immediately it activates and wakes up every single inside of you. It just did that. That's what it just did. It energizes you. That's why when you're driving and you're falling asleep and you begin to tap your hand on the steering, the energy becomes different. You ever notice that? That's why the Garud Puran says that one of the ways you expel your sins is by clapping when the kirtan is happening. But you know something? You hear agar bagar and nobody else tell you clap, you know. But you hear the name of God and you know what happened? Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. And God say you're lazy and you don't want to chant my name? I bless you. Your two hands go stay down. Watch the man who cry and say, I can't come to help you make the parsad, you know. My hand hurted me. God say you never make parsad again. You have an opportunity to make my food. Whether who you helping is me they're going to offer it to. And that's your attitude. That's your behavior. That's your disrespect. Eva mastu. So shall it be. Take sickness. Never cry sickness on yourself. Have you ever heard that? Never cry sickness on your children. Never cry sickness, distress, and calamity on anybody. Never cry distress on your car. You ever hear that before? Never lie, you know. Because it has a unique way. You all know what happens? I don't know. Radhe Govinda Gopala, Jai Radhe Govinda Gopala, Radhe Govinda Gopala, Jai Radhe Govinda Gopala, Radhe Govinda Krishna Madhusundana Madhusundana Krishna
Krishna Madhusudana Madhusudana Krishna
Krishna Madhusundana Madhusundana Krishna
Krishna Madhusudana Madhusudana Krishna
Govinda Govinda Gopala
Govinda Govinda Gopala
Bolo Govinda Govinda Gopala
Govinda Govinda Gopala
Radhe Govinda Gopala Jai Radhe Govinda Gopala
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Radhe Govinda Gopala,
Radhe Govinda Gopala Jai Radhe Govinda Gopala
Radhe Govinda Gopala, Radhe Govinda Gopala.
Chit Choda Yashoda Ki Baat Navneet Chori Gopal
Chitra Chora Yashoda ki baat, Navneet Chore Gopal.
Chit Choda Yashoda Ki Baat Navneet Chori Gopal
Chitra Chora Yashoda ki baat, Navneet Chore Gopal.
Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala
Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala, Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala, Jai Jai
I can't hear you. Sing it, everybody. Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala
Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala, Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala, Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala.
Chit Choda Yashoda Ki Baat Navneet Chori Gopal Hari Bol
Chora Yashoda ki baat, Navneet Chore Gopal.
Govinda Hari Gopal Hari Jai Gopi Gopi Bala Govinda Hari Gopal Hari He Murali Gan Lola
Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, He Gopi Gopi Bala. Govinda Hare, Gopal Hare, He Murali Dhan Lola.
Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala Bolo
Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala, Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala, Jai Jai Giridhar Gopala.
Chit Choda Yashoda Ki Baat Navneet Chori Gopal
Chitra Chora Yashoda ki baat, Navneet Chore Gopal.
Navneet Chori Gopal
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 Navneet Chore Gopal.
We ignite the flame in our fire. Om Sarvatirta Samayuktam Sugandhim Nirmalam Jalam Achpanamya Datta Grihana Parameshwara Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We offer pieces of wood into the fire. Om Bhurbhuva Svatatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhyo Yona Prachoryat Swaha Idam Gatre Idam Namama Om Bhurbhuva Svatatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhyo Yona Prachoryat Swaha Idam Gatre Idam Namama Om Bhurbhuva Svatatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhyo Yona Prachoryat Swaha Idam Gatre Idam Namama. We offer again to the fire. Om Narayanaya Vidme Vasudevaya Tanno Vishnu Prachoryat नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात् 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 ओम नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा water ओम गंगा जमुना गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदा सिंधु कावेरी आचमनम विनियोगा आचमनम समर्पयामि गोविंद हरि गोपाल हरि जय गोपी गोपी बाला गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे हे मुरली गान लोला
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे हे गोपी गोपी बाला गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे हे मुरली गान लोला
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला
चित जोदा यशोदा की बात नवनीत जोड़ी गोपाल
जोड़ा यशोदा की बात नवनीत जोड़े गोपाल
पराचित जोड़ा वृंदावन संसारा गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला
राधित जोड़ा वृंदावन संचारा गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला
पराचित जोड़ा वृंदावन संसारा गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला
राधित जोड़ा वृंदावन संचारा गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला
ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम
हरि ओम हरि ओम
ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम शिव ओम
हरि ओम शिव
पर ब्रह्मा शिव हरि ओम
पर ब्रह्मा शिव हरि ओम
पर विष्णु शिव हरि ओम
पर विष्णु शिव हरि ओम
पर ब्रह्मा शिव हरि ओम
पर ब्रह्मा शिव हरि ओम
पर विष्णु शिव हरि ओम
पर विष्णु शिव हरि ओम
ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम
हरि ओम हरि ओम
हरि ओम हरि ओम
हरि ओम हरि ओम
वृंदावन मेरे लाल की जय। If some
The Little Store offers you a great shopping experience in cool comfort with knowledgeable, helpful staff. Our large aisles and well-organized shelves are filled with quality puja materials, incense sticks, tasty mithai and homemade yogurt. Come to us for all your Indian groceries and spices, SAS paper sahari leaves, household items, sewing supplies, religious books and lots more. You can depend on The Little Store, your store. It's an honor to serve you. Welcome to the Chatak Kitchen, where it's tastier and spicier. For even more taste, cook with Chatak's Amchar Masala, saffron, ground jeera and black pepper. Mix in Chatak's mild, spicy or Madras curry. Get a burst of excitement with a mango amchar, pomsate and mango kuchila, lime and pepper chunks, West Indian hot sauce and lime pepper sauce. Plus, Chatak's tamarind and mango chutneys are perfect with palori and sahina. So make your kitchen a Chatak kitchen. Chatak's fruit products, bringing good taste to life.
Have you been vaccinated? Are you or a loved one experiencing side effects? Have a loved one suddenly died and you suspect it's from being vaccinated? Report this on covars.com, Trinbago's own reporting system online to report any mild to severe side effects and even deaths from getting the COVID vaccine. Make your report, whether current or retroactive one, today on covars.com.
Dies, and there is more than one death in a family, how much grass should be dyed? How much shares of food should be taken out? If mother dies, father dies, brother dies, sister dies, should a share of food for all of these people be taken out separately? Tomorrow night we'll tell. Tomorrow night we'll tell. Our president and the members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation, they have made it possible that a murti of Radha and Krishna Devi has been placed out in Palmis Park. There are many people who are not privileged to be able to perform the Gita part and at home. Maybe because of where they're living and circumstances. And you go to Palmis Park. You go to that murti of Bhagwan Krishna. And if you have to cry to him, you cry. Whatever you have to tell him, you go. But pray on behalf of the souls of the Pitras. She has made, and they have both made this possible. I think we should give them a round of applause this evening. They have done this with the help of the Vice President, who is not here this evening, physically. But in mind and in spirit, he is here because he has to work this evening. But they have done this for all of us. And they have created an opportunity, an avenue for us to pray. And this evening to you, I want to say thank you. I want to say God bless you, both of you. Go to Palmis Park, meet with Bhagwan Krishna, tell him, pray on behalf of the souls of your Pitras. This evening, there are many more things that we can say. Time doesn't permit us. But join with us tomorrow evening. We have a special surprise tomorrow evening. And we have a special discussion out of the Garud Puran. I give some hints as to what we will talk about tomorrow evening. One papa called me and he said, boy, you lose some weight, but you get a little soft. You better get back fat and loud, eh? Don't worry, I don't have to be fat to be loud. When the time to be loud comes, I'll be loud. But in the Pitri, we have to remain calm and collect. Because anything we do affects the souls of the Pitras. Everything we do, as a matter of fact. The boys performing the rituals, I'm just going to tell this. You ought not to shave the hairs of the body or cut the nails of the body while you're making the offerings. The minute you knot the kush grass, you have made a vow. So in a few days from now, they are asking, why don't we extend the Garud Puran? I'll be looking like a babu man. And that's one of the main reasons why. But you are not supposed to shave or cut your hair, your nails. You're supposed to make the offerings, detaching yourself from yourself and knowing that I'm doing this in the name of the Pitras. Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai. Let us all stand as we join in the Aarti. Tonight we dedicate our Aarti to all of the fallen soldiers of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation. Just yesterday we performed the Anteshti for one of our founding members. This evening we pray that wherever the souls of the Pitras are, may those souls be blessed. We beg of you, listen to our prayer. Om Namo भगवते वासुदेवाय। हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। ये प्रभु की अद्भुत, प्रभु की अद्भुत क्या चीज देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। हमने हंसते मुकरे 4 मिले, दुनिया रे चेहरे 1000 मिले। हमने हंसते मुकरे 4 मिले, दुखियारे चेहरे 1000 मिले। यहाँ सुख से सूरज तीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। दो एक सुखी हलाकों में, आंसू ही करो आंखों के। दो एक सुखी हलाकों में, आंसू ही करो को आंखों में। हमने जिन जिन हर पीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। कुछ बोल प्रभु है माया, तेरे केन समझना ना पाया। कुछ बोल प्रभु या माया, तेरा केन समझने आया। हमने देख महलवा कूद देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। दो एक सुखी हलाकों में, आंसू ही करो को आंखों के। दो एक सुखी हलाकों में, आंसू ही करो को आंखों के। हमने जिन जिन हर पीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं। हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक बसता है दसरोते। श्रीमन्नारायण ने नारायण ने नारायण, भजमन नारायण ने नारायण ने नारायण, श्रीमन्नारायण ने नारायण नारायण, भजमन नारायण ने नारायण ने नारायण, स्वामी नारायण ने नारायण नारायण, भजमन नारायण नारायण नारायण, श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण ने नारायण, everybody, श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण ने नारायण, भजमन नारायण ने नारायण ने नारायण, श्रीमन्नारायण ने नारायण ने नारायण, भजमन नारायण ने नारायण ने नारायण, भजमन नारायण नारायण नारायण, श्रीमन्नारायण ने नारायण ने नारायण, भजमन नारायण ने नारायण भजमन नारायण ने नारायण ने नारायण, भजमन नारायण नारायण नारायण, अच्युतं केशवं राम नारायणं, कृष्ण दामोदरं वासुदेवं हरे, श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिका पल्लवं, जानकी नायकं रामचंद्र भजे, जानकी नायकं रामचंद्र भजे, अच्युतं केशवं राम नारायणं, कृष्ण दामोदरं वासुदेवं हरे, श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिका पल्लवं, जानकी नायकं रामचंद्र भजे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय, मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दन, यत्पूजितं मया देवा परिपूर्णं तनस्तमे। Say a prayer. Pray on behalf of the souls of the Pitras. Anadani no deva, Shankha Chakra Garadhara, Akshaya Pundari Kaksha, Preta Moksha Prador Bhava, Govindam Garudvajam Gunanirim Damodharam Sundaram, Prasiddha Purushottama Prasiddha Purushottamam, Ramaya Ramabhadra Ramachandra Veddase Raghunataya Nataya Sitaya Patay Namah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tvameva Mata Sapita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhu Sasika Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Ye Dvani Mangal Dvani Om Shanti बड़ा ही सुख कर ये मंत्र मन हर ओम शांति ओम everybody ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति परमात्मा से ए मेरी आत्मा अब चल करने मिलन, अब चल करने मिलन, अब चल करने मिलन। परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू, परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू, धन्य बना जीवन। ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से, ए मेरी आत्मा अब चल करने मिलन, अब चल करने मिलन, अब चल करने मिलन, अब